May my words be a blessing for the memory of Kavod Harav Mordechai Eiliyahu, Zefer Tzaddik L'Kodesh Livracha. I remember the first time I met the Rav. It was in a very dark and a very dangerous place, the worst prison in the United States, Marion Penitentiary. And its reputation was well deserved. So you could imagine how I felt 3 stories underground, never seeing the sun, never breathing fresh air, never really seeing anybody else except the guards that would come by, when suddenly Kavod Harav walked in to a very small visiting room, and I looked up and there was the Rishon LeZion, which was it was an amazing experience for me, because it was at that moment I could actually see freedom. That's what that's what his visit represented. Because I said to myself, if the Shaliach of Hashem, such a man, such a great man, can visit me in Gehenna, then Hashem will be taking me out. Because no Shaliach like that is just going to leave someone like me in Gehenna. So for the first time in many years, I could actually see freedom, I could taste freedom, I could experience it. And that's what his visit meant to me, freedom. What a lot of people don't appreciate is that the Rav had an incredible sense of humor. And when he left, he turned around to me and he said, "Don't worry, like Yosef HaTzadik, you'll get out of the bore." And I said, "No, Kavod Harav, I don't want to leave the bore like Yosef and go home to Eretz HaKodesh in a casket. I would rather just go home walking." So he laughed, and it was a measure of his greatness that he could actually, even in Gehenna, see the humor in that and laugh with me. When he would visit me, I remember the first time he visited me in my next prison, which had a lot of Muslim prisoners in there. He came in his full robes of the Rishon LeZion, and it created quite a stir in the prison amongst the Muslim prisoners. Very few of them or anybody else in that prison had ever met a Jew. I was the first Jew that many of them had ever seen in their lives. And the word suddenly spread in the prison that a grand mufti had come to see me, because that's what he looked like to them. So after Kavod Harav left, the imam of the prison called me in. He had just arrived himself, and he said, "Did you get a visit by a grand mufti today?" And I said, "Well, he was a grand rabbi. I don't know if he was a mufti." So I explained who Kavod Harav was to him, and he said, "Well, don't explain the difference. Just let the Muslim prisoners believe that a grand mufti came to visit you, because they'll leave you alone." And so here again, the Rav's very presence conferred protection on me for 20 years. This misunderstanding was never corrected, and as each successive Muslim prisoner came in, they always came to see me to find out how it was that a grand mufti came to see this Jew. So I blessed the Rav each and every time that happened, because it was as if he was putting his arm around me, as if he were having the Shekhinah put its presence around me and protect me the whole time that I was in that institution.